Hey Eagles fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into the Eagles Report, and today we kind of have a breaking bit of news here on the Eagles Report. We don't normally do videos on a Thursday. Hey Eagles fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into the Eagles Report, and today let's break a little bit of news on the Eagles Report. They are not hiring an offensive coordinator, and they're changing up their medical staff. We're going to talk about that in today's episode. First off, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And give it a thumbs up for as many Eagle videos as we've been pushing out here on the Eagles Report. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. So as many of you guys know, the videos on this channel come out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and it is not Monday, Wednesday, or Friday for this video. That is because I wanted to get to you guys with the latest bit of news here regarding our Philadelphia Eagles, and that is the fact they will not be hiring an offensive coordinator. Now, we have covered the offensive coordinator job search for Philadelphia for weeks here on this channel, where we basically have been saying they've been looking at different offensive coordinators around the National Football League, different coordinators in terms of quarterback coaches, running game coordinators, passing game coordinators, looked into college football. They looked at Josh McCown internally, Deuce Staley internally, and they have settled on the fact that they are not going to go ahead and hire an offensive coordinator. A great article by the Philadelphia Inquirer has a full detail on this. Essentially, they're going to have quarterbacks coach Press Taylor be the passing game coordinator, which essentially is what the 49ers have been doing for the past 2 years under Kyle Shanahan. Mike LaFleur has been their passing game coordinator. They move him. They kind of add that bit of duties there. But essentially, Doug Pederson will remain the offensive coordinator as the head coach and call all of the plays. And again, there are two ways to look at this. One, they looked in the market and didn't like any of the offensive coordinators out there that they interviewed. Or two, they like what Doug Pederson has done with the offense over the past couple of years. They trust him, and they think that a couple of internal changes will go ahead and fix the Eagles' offense, along with personnel changes in terms of wide receivers, maybe some offensive line help, and Carson Wentz's growth will make the offense be a little bit better than what it was this past year. But it just is a little bit interesting that they looked all around the National Football League, just decided, no, we don't want to hire anybody. We'll just promote internally, leave Doug Pederson in control, essentially. Well, he'll have him assume the offensive coordinator duties, and that's essentially what the Eagles are going to do this year. It's really crazy to think about overall. Remember last year, Mike Groh was the offensive coordinator. A lot of us did not like what he did, but you got to remember, Groh being the offensive coordinator really is kind of a misconception because Doug Pederson still called the plays. So in a normal offense, you have your offensive coordinator, he's calling the plays. The head coach is just kind of the overseer and the overall head coach of the team. Not in Philadelphia. It was Doug Pederson still calling plays, which has happened a lot in the National Football League. It's not something that's crazy. It's just a little bit different from the majority of the pack in terms of offensive coordinators versus head coaches in the NFL. The only other team that have really done this recently, keep the head coach as the play caller and promote a passing game coordinator over an offensive coordinator, was Sean McVay 2 years ago. Even last year, Sean McVay and the Rams were doing this, although they did hire an offensive coordinator a couple of months ago. And then, of course, the San Francisco 49ers, who had Kyle Shanahan as the mastermind. He was offensive coordinator and head coach. He called all of the plays, and they just had a passing game coordinator. They still do in Mike LaFleur, the brother of Matt LaFleur, who's the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. So how do we like this? Do we not like this? Does it matter overall? Let me just say this. I don't think it matters overall. I think it would have been nice to bring in a young, hotshot offensive coordinator, try and, just have a little bit of different in terms of a different voice in the offensive locker room. But at the same time, Doug Pederson calling plays has been successful in the past, and it will continue to be successful going forward. Yeah, Frank Reich was great, but he's not the head coach in Indianapolis. Probably the best offensive coordinator we have had, and maybe Press Taylor getting the offensive passing game coordinator job is going to help out overall. They brought in a guy from Denver to have a role in the offense, but overall, this is Doug Pederson's ship now in terms of the entire offense, and hopefully he's able to kind of duplicate the success the Eagles have had over the past couple of years. I say that knowing what happened last year where they kind of struggled on offense. We got to remember, though, so many injuries. Carson Wentz balled out, and he was throwing to practice squad guys with actual legit deep threats at wide receiver with a healthy offensive line for 16 games. I think, and of course Miles Sanders, getting better during the second half of the year. I think the offense is geared to be better in no matter what, regardless, going forward, depending on who the offensive coordinator is and who is not. So I just wanted to get you guys that little bit of news here. The other thought on this is they really wanted Mike LaFleur, the passing game coordinator of the 49ers. He went ahead and re-signed with the 49ers, so they can't get him. And they also really wanted the quarterback coach up there in Kansas City, but Andy Reid blocked that. They're going to keep him in Kansas City. Those were probably their top two prospects, their top 2 candidates, unable to hire them, so they just decided to go ahead and go with what has worked internally. Doug Pederson will be calling the plays, as he always does, and they will not have an offensive coordinator in Philadelphia this year. The other bit of news here that I wanted to quickly jump out, it's kind of getting overlooked, but the Eagles have made some serious changes inside their medical offices by getting rid of a couple of their performance doctors and bringing in some new high-performance medical doctors and rehabilitation doctors. This from the Inquirer's Jeff McClain. And hopefully, the guys that they let go might have been the problem and why the Eagles have been so injured the past couple of years. The guys that they had hired, I think it's Masarui, I think is how you say his name, was a Chip Kelly hire. Remember, Chip Kelly comes in 2013, hires a brand new staff, and he does this groundbreaking medical, procedure in terms of how they keep their guys fueled and fit and sleep monitoring, all that junk. And it didn't really work. And then the Eagles kept them on, and they've been using him with Doug Pederson's staff the past couple of years. So now they get rid of all of them because the Eagles have been one of the most injured teams in the National Football League the past 2 years. We know this. So the hope is they got rid of whatever was the personnel that was causing guys to not rehab well. You think about Deshaun Jackson not having the core muscle surgery and then eventually having the core muscle surgery and kind of pointing out the fact that the staff kind of did things wrong. Here's the deal. I've always been suspect of the Eagles medical staff. For whatever reason, they just seem worse than everybody else. Finally, Jeffrey Lurie and the Eagles have made a change, and hopefully, and again, this is the hope, this is going to be the big difference in terms of getting our Eagles healthy, because the past couple of years, if the Eagles don't have major injuries on both sides of the football, don't they go back to an NFC title game? Don't they get a little further in the postseason? I just truly believe that they probably do. This year alone, you think about Malik Jackson getting injured, Deshaun Jackson getting injured, Alshon Jeffrey getting injured, Nelson Aguilar getting injured. So many injuries on the offense and defense as well. Nigel Bradham was out for a portion. Derek Barnett was out. There were so many. If you could stay more healthy, it's a war of attrition. I think the Eagles have a real shot at going deep in the postseason going forward in 2020. So there you go. I wanted to jump on here, give you guys updates on all the little things that are happening. Kind of a shorter, different edition of the Eagles report, but there is big news happening in Philadelphia. Even though free agency doesn't happen until March, and then the NFL draft doesn't happen until April, we're still going to do a ton of great coverage there. But at the same time, this whole offensive coordinator thing is something we have followed for a while. I wanted Jim Caldwell a couple of weeks ago. You remember that, the former coach and head coach of Detroit and in Indianapolis. Not happening, right? So no more are this speculation is a speculation that we're going to go out and sign some hotshot young offensive coordinator. We are going to have Doug Pederson calling the plays. Press Taylor being the passing game coordinator. We'll have a running game coordinator. And that's just what they're going to roll with here. So I'm very curious in terms of what you guys think. I love the audience interaction. I read every single comment. Scroll down below and let me know what you think of us not hiring an offensive coordinator. Will it work or will it not work? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be interacting with you guys there. Also, follow me on Twitter at Real Thomas Mott. Follow the Eagles Report at Report Eagles on Twitter as well. We can interact on Twitter there. And finally, we are so close to 4,000 subscribers. Might hit it by the time this video gets out there, but if we have not hit it yet, click the red subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. That way, you'll be notified whenever the Eagles Report is doing all these videos, as we're becoming the fastest growing Eagles channel on YouTube. That's confirmed. I looked it all up. We are the fastest growing, and honestly, we have the best content out of anybody. So we try and get you guys the actual news. None of this jabbering, blah, blah, try to be funny stuff you see on a lot of other channels. We're trying to get you guys the news because that's what matters for you guys as you're going throughout your day, and as brief and as concise and as informative as possible. So thumbs up for that and subscribe down below as well. No offensive coordinator, shake up in the medical staff. What else can happen? We'll see what happens over the next couple of days and weeks. I have some great draft coverage and great free agency predictions and coverage as well coming up over the next couple of days and weeks, so stay tuned for that. Hope you guys are going to enjoy all the great content here at the Eagles Report. Again, for the Eagles Report, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day. Did you like that video? Thanks for watching, but why don't you click this video right here, because we did it just a couple of days ago, and guess what? It's about the Eagles too. Like that video? Why don't you subscribe right down here? That way you're notified whenever we release more videos here on the Eagles Report. It's the fastest growing Eagles channel here on YouTube. Video, subscribe, click them right now. Go ahead, click them.